Hello everyone and welcome to Data Analysis YouTube channel. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome. If this is your first time of stopping by this YouTube channel, please subscribe and give us a thumbs up. You can also drop comments in the comment section of topics that you would like us to discuss about in the use of Microsoft Excel. So for this particular tutorial, we will be going through conditional formatting, which is one of the icons in the styles section of the home tab. We are still talking about the home tab. So for conditional formatting is basically, it's a very interesting tool in Microsoft Excel that you can use to visualize data. You can also use to see trends and patterns. And conditional formatting is simply formatting information with certain conditions or certain rules. Let us get started. To format any particular cell or group of cells or column, you need to highlight them first. So in this particular tutorial, we will be formatting column A, column B, and column C so that we can see how this conditional formatting works. So I will start by highlighting the entire column C by taking my mouse pointer in the C bar, just like this, and then you click on it. So you have highlighted the entire column. And I go to select, I click on the drop down, the small drop down button beside conditional formatting. And you will see a list of options. Highlight cell rules, top bottom rules, data bars, color scales, icon sets, new rule, clear rules, and manage rules. So we will go through all of these drop down options one by one. Beginning from the highlight cell rules, we can see greater than. Okay, so for this particular option, it says when you highlight this beautiful dialog box is out, and it says format cells that are greater than a particular number. So for this column C, I want to format cells that are greater than 50,000. So you can type whatever you want in the bar that you have, and it says format cells that are greater than 50,000 with light red fill with dark red text. Okay, so you can choose from this particular drop down how you want the excluded cells to look like. So basically, you're telling Excel that all these cells that have values greater than 50,000 should be highlighted. And you can select how you want it to be. So you can choose yellow fill, you can choose green fill, you can choose light red fill, and you can even choose to just highlight only the text and not the background. And you can choose a red border. You can also choose to custom the format. So in custom format, you have other options. You can choose double strike through. So all the values that are above 50, that are greater than 50,000, you have one strike through. You can choose to make the font to be bold. You can choose to put specialized forms of borders, broken lines. You can also choose to fill with other types of colors, right? So custom fill, the custom option gives you a whole lot of options on how you want to conditionally format the particular cells that you have stated the rules for. So I am just going to stick with light red fill with dark red text. And I click on OK. And this is what we have. So basically, all the figures, all the values that are above 50,000 have been highlighted. And still working with column C, I will click on the drop down for conditional formatting, and we will go for the less than. So basically, it's the same thing. It says format cells that are less than. So I am going to say format cells that are less than 30,000. And just like we have seen. Now we have seen something really interesting, right? I'm going to select this and click on OK. So I had the first conditional formatting I did was values greater than 50,000, and now I am choosing values less than 30,000. The first formatting I did, I have not cleared the rules. So this is why it is still highlighted. And I have added another form of conditional format. And this is why we have these two sets of colors showing that there are two sets of conditional formats. Okay, so if you want to clear rules, you can just come here and click clear rules from selected text or clear rules from the entire sheet. Just in case you have a lot of information on this sheet and you want to clear the rules from all the sheets, of course, you can click on clear rules from entire sheet. If you have selected cells, just like I have selected only column C, you can click, of course, you highlight column C first, and then you come and click on the drop down and you click on clear rules from selected cells, and all my rules have been cleared. So I just clicked on undo. You can use the shortcut button Ctrl Z, or you can come to this particular undo button, okay, that is on the top left of your screen, and you can click on that to undo what you had done before. So I'll still highlight column C, and I want to clear rules so that we can see what we're doing clearly. We are going to the next one, which is between. So this particular conditional format says you want to format cells that are between this value and this value. So we want to format cells that are between 50,000 and, let me say, 100,000, right? And I want to fill it with green. And this is what we have. So among this, in this particular column, this is the only number that is between 50,000 and 100,000. I am going to undo. And like we can see in the undo button, you also have a small drop down where you can click and you can select. So you have all the options. It says undo one action, undo two actions, undo three actions. You can select to undo all the three actions and you go back to the original setting. And then we have this equal to. Let us try this. So format cells that are equal to this particular number. So this is very specific. First of all, I need to highlight column C, and then I click on this drop down and I highlight all the cells that are equals to, let's say, 45,000, and I click OK. So all the cells that are equal to 45,000 have been highlighted. And then I need to highlight column C, and I go over to clear rules. I want to clear all the rules because we want to apply them individually. And the next option is text that contains. So clearly, this particular conditional formatting option deals with text. And this takes us to column B. So column B, conditional formatting, highlight cell rules, text that contains description by default. But I want to say text that contains central. And I click OK. So all the text that contains central have been highlighted, just like we can see. And so conditional formatting does not only apply to values, it also applies to text as well, which is really interesting. And we go to the next, a date occurring. So this particular function tells you that this option works on dates, and I need to clear the rules so that it is clean, and we go to column A, which has the date, and I will click on conditional formatting, highlight cell rules, a date occurring yesterday. So by default, this has popped up, a date occurring yesterday. So none of the dates here is occurring yesterday, and this is why we have no cell has been selected. Let us try a date occurring last month. We also do not have any date occurring last month, right? So this is why we are having no selection at all. Let us see a date occurring next month. Good. So we have two selections of dates that are occurring next month. And this is why you have the conditional format has picked them up for you to see. Let us clear the rules. I need to highlight column A. So please do not forget to always highlight so that your rules can apply to the selected columns or rows or sheet, as the case may be. And I still go back. Okay, so let me highlight column C and let us see what we have next. So we have duplicate values. This is really interesting and really important. So when you have a set of information entered on Microsoft Excel, and then you want to know if some values have been duplicated, this is how you can find out very easily. And then you highlight the particular column. So it says format cells that contains duplicate values. You can choose to highlight it with light red fill, or alternatively, you can choose to highlight or conditionally format cells that contain unique values. So unique values are basically values that appear only once. As we can see from this Excel, in column C, every other value that has not been selected appeared more than once. So 45,000 and 15,000 appeared more than once. So this is why they are not unique. So let us go over to clear the rules again. Clear rules from selected cells. And then we can go over to more rules. So here you can see more rules that says format all cells based on their values, format only cells that contain, and you can put what it contains, format only top or bottom ranked values, format only values that are above or below average, format only unique or duplicate values, and use a formula to determine which cells to format. So this is even more advanced level of conditional formatting that will give you a more specific result as you might desire. So this says format only cells that contain cell value, okay, specific text that is containing this, but in this case, there is no specific text in column C except the heading, which is amount. And so let us talk about cell value. Format only cells with cell value between 40,000 rather, and 50,000. And I select OK. So we have seen that nothing has happened, and let us go back to see why this occurred. Cell value between 40,000 and 50,000 format. So that happened before because I did not choose a particular format color to highlight the cells that the conditional formatting applies to. So this is why that happened, and this is for you to take note. Okay, so still highlighting column C, I want to clear the rules so that we can go over to the next option. Clear rules from selected cells. And now we have the next one that says top stroke bottom rules. This is going to highlight top 10 items, top 10%, bottom 10 items, bottom 10%, above average, and below average. So let us just see how this works. Of course, top 10. Okay, you can even choose if you want it to be in the top 5. Okay, and then you can choose something else. If you want it to be in the top 10%, you can choose top 1%. So let us see how this works. But first, you need to clear the rules for the previous one. If you do not intend to work with multiple rules, you need to clear the rules. So top 10%, and here I am going to make it top 1%, and this is what we have. So clear rules and top bottom rule. So this applies to the same. It's the same. So let us select the above average. So above average, when you select an entire column of values or an entire row of values, right? Excel automatically calculates the average. And if we see the bottom part of the Excel spreadsheet, you have some automatic calculations. Here you have the average automatically calculated. I am hovering around this. And then you have the count as well. So Excel also counts the number of values in that particular highlighted column. And then you have the sum automatically done. This is automatically done by Microsoft Excel. So this is how Excel will be able to figure out which values in column C are above average. And the same applies to selecting or conditionally formatting values that are below average. So we will clear the rules so that we can go to the next option, data bars. And here it gets interesting because you have more colors to play with. So you have the gradient fill, and here it says add a color data bar to represent the value in a cell. The higher the value, the longer the bar. So when you click on that option, you can see this, how beautifully it looks. And you have different colors of data bars to select from, just whichever one you prefer. Okay, so if we select this is how it looks. You have data bars with the values in each of the same cells. Okay, so let us assume I would like to clear rules. I always like to clear rules so that you can see your formatting really sharp, except you want to use multiple conditional formats in a particular column or cell. And now you have solid bars, right? So this is different from the gradient fill that we had previously. These are solid fills, solid bars, so you can make selection just as you deem fit. And just clicking on more rules, you can even choose better colors, okay? You can choose more options of colors. You can choose the bar direction that you want, if it's left to right or if it's right to left. Let us see how this works. This is left to right, but if we want to select the right to left, let us see how this works. The bar direction, right to left. This is awesome. So in case you select that your data should be, or the data bars should be arranged in any way that you deem fit, you can make the selection from here. So we will go to the next option, which is color scales. Let me clear the rules so that I can have a clean sheet to work with. So clear rules from selected cells. And then we go over to the next form of conditional formatting, which is color scales. So this gives us a different type of conditional formats with color scales. And here you have a mixture of colors representing different levels of values. So in the first one, it says apply a color gradient to a range of cells. The color indicates where each cell falls within the range. In this particular column, which is column C, so we have the range. Okay, we have a range of numbers. I think the lowest number here is, so if we want to quickly just jump, if we want to know what the minimum value is in column C, the first thing you do, this is a quick check, you do equals to min, and you open the bracket and you select the entire column and you close it. So the minimum value here is 12,000. And then if you want to know what the maximum value is, you just click your equals to. So every time you want to start a formula, you start it with the equals to sign, and you type equals to and you go for max. So max is basically maximum, and you select the range of cells that you want to determine what the maximum value is. So the maximum is this, and let us go back to the minimum, right? So the minimum is this. The minimum is 12,000, and this is the maximum. So this is the range from 12,000 up till 166,666.66, right? So I am still going to highlight the entire column, and we go to color scales, yeah? So basically the color gets bolder and thicker, and the color changes as it goes along in the range. And you have even more options that you can select from as you deem fit. And you can also go for more rules. So here you can see the format style here is 2-color scale. You can choose a 3-color scale. Okay, so here you have 3 different colors. You have yellow, you have green, you have thick orange. So I'll come back to color scales, go back to more rules, and then you can also have icon sets. So icon sets basically shows you, it represents the range of the data with icons. And I click OK, and this is what we have, right? So like I said, if you do not always clear rules, you will have multiple conditional formats in your group of selected cells, which could be quite confusing if that was not your original intention in the first place. So we go to the next option, which is the icon sets. And now we can see different shapes, okay, that we can select from as you deem fit, right? So when you hover around it, Excel will show you how it looks. It gives you a preview, and you can select the ones that you love. So we have different colors, different indicators, different icons to select from. Okay, we can choose this that shows you a tick, okay, and the X sign. And let us quickly remove this so that we're not confused about that. Okay, so we still back to the icon sets, and you can choose even more beautiful shapes like this, right? You can choose like ratings, the shapes that looks like ratings. You can choose this. You can choose whatever suits your fancy. Basically, you can choose anything, right? You can also go to more rules and see what other options that you have. Okay, so and still highlighting column C, you can go to new rule. So you can manually set a rule, and when you click on new rule, you will have, of course, we can recognize this dialog box that came up every time you select the more rules option. And then you can go to manage rules. So when you go to manage rules, you have more options that says show formatting rules for, of course, the current selection. You can choose if you want it for the entire worksheet. You can create a new rule. You can edit an existing rule. You can delete a rule. You can duplicate a rule. Okay. So this is the rule that is applied currently because, of course, you can, if you can recall, I cleared all the rules previously. So this is the rule that is currently applied, and it shows you the location where the rules are applied to. So it says column C, so this is C to C, the entire column C, and here you have a condition, stop if true, right? So we are going to get to that in a bit when we start using the if function to see the things that we can do with the if function. So this is, I'm going to clear rules from the selected cells. This is all we have for today. In the next tutorial, we will talk about format as table and the cell styles so that we can finish everything about the styles section of the home tab. If you like this tutorial, please subscribe and hit the like button. You can also drop comments in the comment section to let us know how you feel about the video and to let us know if there is a particular functionality in Microsoft Excel that you want us to go through. Thank you very much and see you another time.